and welcome to another review slash event vlog combo. I think sometimes it's better to do it this way to give you a little bit of thoughts on the book as well as some info about the event that I went to with the author. So the book I'm going to talk to you about is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I'm going to talk a little bit about the book first and then show you some footage from the event that I went to in Littleton when he came to Denver, Colorado, because yeah, I got to meet him, which was very exciting. Firstly, I've spoken to a few people about this, the fact that people think that this book is YA when in fact it is adult, and it is also being marketed as sci-fi, and that is not normally the kind of book that I talk about here on this channel. But I received an audio copy of this one for review from Penguin Random House, and so I was very excited to read it either way. I kind of didn't pay attention to what genre it had been put into. I just had seen the promotional material for it at BookCon and knew that I wanted to read it. You might remember from my BookCon vlog, I had a picture with the Carl and the Hank Green cutout, which I might pop into this video as well because I think it's such an amusing picture. I did take the tote bag from that picture to the event with me. So yeah, so a sci-fi novel. However, I wouldn't say that this is entirely, I think if you are a fan of sci-fi, you will definitely enjoy it. But I think if you're like me and normally put off when the word sci-fi is included, unless it's Star Wars, then I still think that you will enjoy this, because to me, this did feel like adult fiction, and it just felt like a story of April May in New York City. I love the fact that this is set in New York City. I think when a book is set in New York City, even if you've not been there, you've seen enough films and television shows that are set and filmed there that you kind of know where you are, you know what to expect, you know what it's going to be like in terms of a setting. And I love the fact that this was set in this setting. And Hank did say at his event that he would look at Google Earth and physically walk the routes that April May did in the book, and he chose where the New York Carl who appeared was going to be based on an area which he knew very well, and I think that that shows definitely. It does feel like a real New York setting and has a New York feel to it, and so I love the setting, and the fact that we've got a quote-unquote normal person as our protagonist. April May is a fabulous protagonist. She is just loving the fact that she has got a job right out of university, college, and feeling successful in that. She's not entirely happy in her job. She's not entirely happy with her living situation or her relationship situation. In other words, she's just like us. And so she makes for a great protagonist. And the fact that she is the person to find the Carl she thinks is significant, and obviously it's a work of fiction, so we know it is significant. But yeah, then when we get into the fact that the Carls came and the fact that they are these giant metal robot-like creatures, I did not find that difficult to believe. I found it really quite easy to believe, because everything unfurls very gradually and very slowly, and there are some really pacey points in this, but the whole story of who the Carls are and what they do unfurls gradually. So it just feels like, yeah, this is happening, we're walking through this, we're seeing it through April's eyes, and yeah, this is just what's happening in the story. Then we have the kind of parallel sort of plot line, aside from the fact that we've got these Carls appearing everywhere and we don't know why they're here or what they do or who put them here or whether they're a work of art or whether they're something else. And then we have the fact that April May is then shot into being this social media celebrity and everything that comes with that. And I love when authors really explore that in a book. I really like when social media is used well in a novel. I think too many authors avoid it, and so I was really pleased. And who better to talk about someone who is a social media celebrity than someone who is a social media celebrity. And there's a part in the book where there's a discussion of the different tiers of fame, and I thought that that was really interesting as well, and again really well explained. Yes, the message of this book is really the thing that I took away from it, and the thing that made it a 5-star read for me. And I don't normally talk about star ratings because really it's something that Goodreads and Amazon just forces me to do, but it's the thing that sealed the deal on this being something that I really went, yes, I'm going to recommend this to people, I'm going to, you know, put out a really good review of this. And the fact that the strong message of this book is that we can achieve great things when we put aside our differences and we work together. And I just think that that message is enforced throughout the novel. It's not just something that comes at the end. Yeah, and I can't wait to read book 2. As I say, even though this is being marketed as sci-fi and it does have robots in it, I would really recommend this, and that is coming from someone who does not read sci-fi. And just gaze upon the beauty of the finished book, because I talked about it in my September wrap-up a little bit, but I didn't have a finished copy of the book then. End papers. Is there a hidden message in the end paper? And then you can see, just get the light right here, there's a Carl embossed here. And this is foil, which is fabulous. It's just, it is a beautiful book, and my copy is signed. And I did get another pin at the event as well, and I did get to meet Hank. So I will leave you with some of the vlog footage. So that's what's coming up now. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed so that my next video lands in your subscription feed. And I hope you enjoyed the footage from Hank's event here in Colorado. So firstly, Hank treated us to a reading from An Absolutely Remarkable Thing.
And you end up in a place where you understand a product as if it is a person. Now the reverse of this, where people become brands, should be easy, right? They're already people, and at the beginning. Except that really, what you're doing when you create a brand is a process of simplification. You come to understand the essence of that tire. And so branding a person also benefits dramatically from simplicity. People are complicated though. Brands are simple. Marketing is a lot more about thinking than doing. We had to figure out what Carl's brand was, what my brand was, and how those identities would be a part of each other. We had to think realistically about what role I would play. I wasn't going to be the president, I wasn't going to be a national security or science expert, but how we defined me would be informed by how we imagined Carl.
And Hank was in conversation with Tattered cover employee and fabulous booktuber Michaeli. I will leave her channel linked above.
So, how many book ideas have you had before this?
Oh, plenty.
I know, and what was your worst one?
I wanted, probably, so you know who James Michener is?
Yes.
I wanted like do you guys know who James Michener is? He's like a historical fiction author, and he like writes.
I do work in a bookstore.
Yeah, yeah, you're aware of Michener. Maybe not everybody. The stories are often like in the same place, but different stories that sort of like are connected in some way, but they span multiple lifetimes. And I wanted to do like a Michener-esque story about the settlement and growth and destruction of the culture of Easter Island, which is not something that I knew anything like. I don't know how to answer that without a lot of spoilers.
That's okay.
Where Carl came from was like a literal dream. And I was like, that's a fun scene. If you've read the book, it has to do with grape jelly, and if you haven't, then that's not a spoiler. So that was, and I was like, that's a sort of like when I write a song, it's often the same way where it's like a nugget that is like so good that I have to write a song around it, and that was a much longer process than writing a song. But that was a really great place. That was a very good starting point, at least. I don't think that it was like it wasn't like, this is the only thing that matters, and as long as I can write a story around this, the book will be great. No, like, it definitely needed a lot. And like, I think that other parts of the book are much more important than that part, but that's how it started.
I agree with, and what locations inspired you when writing the book? This is by Kira Sanders, and she drew these really awesome pictures with it, so.
It sounded like you were wooing for your pictures. I know that we've established
that's my bad.
Wooing is the thing to do, but that did seem a little egotistic.
They were pretty damn cool pictures, though. Like, for just sketching them real quick.
Beautiful.
Believe in yourself, you did great.
Believe in yourself, you did great.
That's awesome.
Carl hangs out in New York at just outside of Gramercy Theater where I played shows. And so I know that part of New York and have stood there several times while loading merch out of a van. And then like after, one of the great things about writing books in 2018 is you can Google Earth everything. And you're just like, okay, so April walks down this road. Here, and then goes straight. And then you're like, okay, well, if this is the address and this is the address, how long does it take to walk there? And it Google's just like 5 minutes. And you're like, okay, well, it takes 5 minutes to walk there. And if she wanted to take the subway from Brooklyn to downtown to go to the office, it takes that long. And I mean, it's amazing. Like, like all
I
that
kind of
stuff.
want this journal of like your notes of weird directions and like what you wrote down.
Well, I've done it. Like, I did some of it in person too. Like when I was in New York, I'd be like, well, my meetings are over, I need to go walk the walks that my characters walk and like see how hard it would be to get to this park, and once you got to the park, how hard would it be to get to the bathroom, which didn't even get into the book. And yeah. I hate that books never talk about characters going to the bathroom.
I do too.
But it got cut. And it turns out it's not that interesting.
Damn editors.
Then there was a trivia portion where they were asked questions from Trivial Pursuit and had to hit each other if they got things wrong, which of course represents Twitter. And then Hank treated us to some music.
I need Harry Potter like the Grindylow needs water, and as that day approaches, my need grows. Oh, I see you, Deathly House, Incendio, book sales at barbers. It'll be like Phoenix tears on a broken nose. His gonads. And then when it's time to make the next generation of fish, she releases a hormone into her blood that causes the male parts to, he's gone now, to release the sperm, and she releases the eggs, and they come together, and that's how anglerfish work. Deep sea ones. There are lots of different types of anglerfish. And so I wrote a song about that because it was so beautiful. Okay. Yes, it's true that I once went through life as a guy who always had to rhyme life with strife. Yes, I've been burned and I've been spurned, and through it all, my friends, I've learned that love is not about whether you get stabbed, it's how slow the knife gets turned. But my friends, I found an animal who doesn't feel this pain, and my life is so much better now that I can feel the same. Cause you can't eat the knife if you live your whole life without light, and you can't eat the dish if you've only ever eaten fish, and you can't feel alone if it's all you've ever known. Yeah, the deep sea anglerfish has no reason to be happy, but it has no freaking idea what else to be. The deep sea dwelling anglerfish never has to find a mate. They are always there together when it's time to procreate. See, one dark nutty young that lights a female on her side, and then slowly he becomes a sperm-producing parasite. And if we can say he lives it all, he lives until she dies, and until that day he literally never leaves her side. Oh, you can't eat the knife your whole life without light, and you can't eat the dish if you've only ever eaten fish. You can't feel alone if it's all you've ever known. Yeah, the deep sea anglerfish has no reason to be happy, but it has no freaking idea what else to be. Well, for years this rule has kept me out of despair. You simply do not feel what is always there. I ask my brain to entertain. The pain is the same. That if I feel it all the time, can you really call it pain? Well, I don't have any friends and I don't have any hair, but neither does the anglerfish and she doesn't care. Oh, you can't hate the night. If you lived your whole life without light, you can't hate the dish. If you've only ever eaten fish and you can't feel alone, if it's all you've ever known. Yeah, the deep sea anglerfish has no reason to be happy, but it has no freaking idea what else to be.